What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazique, aka Unique Mazique, the hardest working man in sports and gaming. And we're talking about Markelle Fultz, specifically what's going on, what's wrong with Markelle Fultz. Uh, Unless you just been totally unplugged, I'm quite sure you've seen the video of the, I don't know what other word to use, but disturbing free throw motion that he has now. He's ever since last year, he's really been struggling quite a bit with his shot, just the form, everything. The Philadelphia 76ers blamed a shoulder injury on it. But honestly, it really seems like there's more going on with Markelle Fultz than a shoulder injury or what we would consider, normal or standard types of confidence issues. It feels like there's more. And I think that there's a possibility that Markelle Fultz could be suffering from some sort of mental health issue. And the reason why I say that is because last year, when a lot of the talk was going on about with Kevin Love and DeMar DeRozan opening up about their mental health issues, Markelle Fultz chimed in on Instagram and he has since deleted this post. And he was essentially saying, yes, these issues are very real. And this was in the midst of him during his rookie season struggling somewhat inexplicably, right? So he has, like I said, deleted this post. It's not available to see anymore. But that did happen. So, and when you look at Markelle Fultz, and then you think about some of the things that are being said by his teammates, I believe Ben Simmons said, in practice, I can't guard him. In practice, I can't stay in front of him. And it's really easy to forget. But in college, in his single year at Washington, Markelle Fultz looked like an absolute beast. I mean, there is a reason the 76ers traded, up and drafted this guy number one. There is a reason that they took him here. There was a reason he was viewed the way he is. He is very talented. The athleticism is there. The length is there. The versatility is there as a lead guard or a two guard. But there is something going on. And we're hearing talk from everywhere. People are saying, obviously, these issues are mental, right? Stephen A. Smith went in on it, saying that these issues are absolutely mental. Said that he's on the cusp of being a monumental bust. Even the newly acquired Jimmy Butler, who says he has mutual friends in Los Angeles who can attest to how hard Markelle Fultz works on his game. He said that he believes that Fultz's issues are mental. Now, saying someone's issues are mental is one thing, but saying that their problem could be a mental health issue is another. I'm not sure. We're not totally plugged in regards to what type of help he may be getting. It would seemingly be just crazy to think that the 76ers wouldn't be aware of something like this if that is indeed the case. But you would only hope that at some point, if he hasn't happened yet, that he's getting help for himself personally before he even tackles what's going on a basketball court. If you look at where he is now, the 76ers have played 15 games. He's started all 15 games that he's appeared in. His numbers are not horrible, right? They're not what you would want from a guy that's taken number one overall, especially a guy who got an opportunity to mostly sit and watch throughout his rookie season. Last year, only played 14 games. So he's already past that. But he's averaging 9 points a game. He's at 3.8 rebounds, 3.5 assists, over a steal a game, only 1.3 turnovers. He's only playing 24 minutes, shooting a not great 41% from the field, but he's also making just under 31% of his threes, which isn't great at all. But it's not the type of, if you didn't have the visuals to go with what's going on with Markelle Fultz and you looked at these numbers, you go, we'll see what happens. You wouldn't be as worried or concerned about where he is. Now, he is only shooting just under 58% from the free throw line. And like I said, if you've seen his free throw motion, especially this last one, which was kind of like a double pump, just really strange type of motion. His explanation was that it slipped out of his hand, but the eye test and watching that video doesn't look at all like the ball slipped out of his hand. But that's what he says. That's what he says. The last time I saw a free throw motion that looked anything like that, is Chris Dudley. So you guys Google that, do a YouTube search on Chris Dudley free throw motion if you don't know who that is or what that is. That's the last time I saw something like that. Now, mind you, Chris Dudley was like a 6'10", 6'11" center that didn't have anywhere near the athletic ability or prowess that Markelle Fultz possesses. But, you know, that's the last time I can remember seeing someone with that sort of a odd motion. You know, I totally subscribe to the concept that this is purely a mental struggle. The last time I saw something like this, I've seen something similar to this in terms of just this somewhat like a perplexing mental block. I saw it in baseball on 2 different occasions. And if you are a baseball fan as well as a basketball fan, you may know exactly where I'm going with this. But Minnesota Twins second baseman Chuck Knobloch, for whatever reason, went through a struggle where he literally could not throw the ball to first base consistently. I mean, we're not talking about a guy who was never a good defensive second baseman. At one point, he was a really good defensive second baseman, but he went through something where he would, you know, field the ball at second base. And I'm talking about routine throws to first. And he really just couldn't consistently get it. They airmail it left, right, could not get it for whatever reason. Obviously, this is something he had been doing for years in his baseball career, but he got to a point and he couldn't do it. Rick Ankiel, a former just amazing talent as a pitcher in the St. Louis Cardinals organization, got to a point where we've seen wildness from a pitcher, but his would be to the point where he literally could not throw the ball anywhere near the strike zone. He went through emotional, some sort of emotional breakdown or just collapsed there, just on the mound. I think 1 or 2 times, just visually, just kind of becoming unraveled. And I kind of liken that to what's going on with Markelle Fultz. To a lesser degree, going on currently now with a player is John Lester of the Chicago Cubs. His struggles to just throw the ball to first base. Now we're talking about a pitcher who throws the ball for a living, but obviously pitching off a mound to the plate is different than throwing the ball to first base after you field the ball. But this is something that he struggles with so much that the Cubs essentially make sure that the catcher who is catching him has to take on another responsibility to hold runners on first base by throwing behind the batter and that sort of thing, to just try to keep other teams' base runners honest. Now, he has started to throw the ball over to first base a little bit more and get a little bit better with fielding his position, but this is a mental block for him as well. So these types of things do exist in sports. This is one of the reasons why we've seen sports psychologists come into play. I would believe, or I would think, that the 76ers have thought about doing something similar with Markelle Fultz. But I think that the primary concern for Fultz should be his mental health and his own stability as a human being over the type of prospect and player that he ultimately turns out to be. You got to save the person before you save the player. And hopefully that's what the 76ers are thinking now, as opposed to putting pressure on him to develop. So that's all I have for this particular subject. If you are digging these basketball conversations, make sure that you leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. As always, I appreciate you watching. God bless and peace.